In this tutorial, we'll cover how to add a new page to your website and then put that as a link into the navigation. To begin with, we'll go into the dpanel and we'll begin by creating our page. So going through to View Pages and then adding our page in. I'll enter the name for my page, which is a name that is just for your purposes. Whatever you put in this field will not be published on the front end of the website. You can set a publishing range for your page, so you could set a page not to be published until a certain date and to automatically come offline on a certain date. In this example, setting the expiration date of the page to 5 years in the future is more than adequate. The review date field allows you to set a date on which you'll receive through an automated email advising you that the page is flagged for review. You can set the email address that you want those email reminders to come through to under Site Content, View Site Settings. By default, it will set up a page which is 6 months in the future. In the SEO tab, we're able to customize the search engine optimization fields for this page. In this example, we're not too bothered about the SEO performance of this page, so we'll leave the fields blank and the fields will adopt the default values that have already been set up in Site Content, View Site Settings. The next stage is to select the template that we want to use as the basis for our page. So by clicking on the templates icon, we're presented with the different options of templates that we have for our website. In this example, we're going to use the 2-column page, and so we just click on that. You can see now that the editor area has been populated with the template ready for us to paste our content into. I have a Word document which is set up with the content that I'd like to paste in. So I select the area that I want, copy it, and then come back to the dpanel. One mistake would be to paste directly into the editor. When you paste directly from a PDF or a Word document, anything which has got formatting in it, you can often get strange characters appearing within your web page. So there's a much safer way of doing that, of getting the content in, and that's by pasting it as plain text. So to begin with, we'll delete the existing content and then click on the Paste as Plain Text icon and paste into this area here. This has now safely pasted in the content. There's no strange characters in there, and I'm now able to start editing my page and adding the formatting in that I want. So to begin with, I'll click on the Kids and Youth sentence there, and I want to apply a heading 1 style to that. Now as soon as I do that, you can see there's a problem here. It's applied the formatting to the entire text. It's not just the Kids and Youth that has been set with the heading 1. So I'm going to undo that by selecting the normal format. The reason it did that is that there is only a line break between Kids and Youth and the next sentence. There isn't a new paragraph, so we need to create a new paragraph between the two. So at the end of Kids and Youth, if you press Delete, Enter, it has now created a new paragraph for the subsequent sentence, and Kids and Youth is now an entity in its own right. I can now select heading 1, and the heading 1 style is applied just to the Kids and Youth. And I'll delete the previous heading 1 on the page. Here with children, I want to apply the heading 2 style. In exactly the same way, if I apply heading 2, because it doesn't have its own paragraph, it applies it to the entire text. So to put it into its own paragraph, I'm going to go to the surrounding text and just make sure it's on separate lines just by pressing Delete, Enter around it. When I now apply the heading 2 style, we can see that it's carried through correctly. So I can now begin to format the rest of my document by creating the new paragraphs around the different areas that I want to have headings. Just here I have a bulleted list that I want to create. So exactly the same principle, I'll create a new paragraph, and now I can just go and press Delete, Enter to add additional items into my list. This process is exactly the same as you would do in a Word document. And continuing down the page, I want that to have a heading too. Another couple of bullets. And now the formatting of my page is finished. So I'm happy with this. There's no images to drop into this page. So I'm going to go ahead and save changes on the page. Now this has put my test page in the editable pages section, but this hasn't put it as a link onto the front end of my website. To do that, I need to go to the navigation and then add a new link in. Now I would like my test page to appear under the DBE section. So I'm going to add a new link, and the parent link is going to be DBE. When I enter the name here, this is now the link, or the name of the link that will be published on the front end of the website. So I'm going to continue calling this test page. The module is site content because we created the page under site content add page, and there's my test page. I want the page to be open to all. I don't want it to be restricted to people who've logged in, and I'm going to keep the page published and active because I want it to go live immediately. So hit save changes, and we can see there that my test page has been added into the navigation under DBE. So going to the front end of the website, if I refresh this page and hover over DBE, there we go, we can see the test page has been added in. If I go through to it, all the formatting looks to be correct, but the one thing is that I'd like test page to be a bit higher up than at the bottom there. I'd like it to be beneath diocesan service agreement. Going back to the dpanel, I find my link and I click the up arrow a couple of times, and now going back to the front end, if I refresh here, we can see that my test page has moved up the page. So there we have it, adding a new page into a website by selecting a template, by pasting the content in as plain text, and then adding the navigation link in and rearranging the order.